Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about the one, the only Zbec network. We are going to mainly be talking about technical analysis, but we are also going to be talking about a few other things. Listen, Zbec $1 trajectory confirmed. Walmart is partnering with Zero Hash, and Zero Hash is partnering with Zbec. Walmart's fintech arm OnePay is partnering with Zero Hash to enable crypto trading and custody services Bitcoin and Ethereum in its app by late 2025, allowing users to convert assets for Walmart purchases. Zero Hash in turn has partnered with Zebec Network, as shown by Zebec's invitation to Zero Hash's 2024 London conference, signaling institutional collaboration on crypto infrastructure. Now is a good time to accumulate Zebec. Now, this was roughly from 2 weeks ago, but this is what I want to talk about, right? Zebec has consistently been pumping out news and positive things around a Zebec consistently over the last God knows how many months at this point, right? So the trajectory for $1 is getting closer and closer and confirmed each time something new comes out. Previously, just a couple hours ago, we posted a video talking about how there was a Circle Arc testnet, a collaboration with Zebec Network, right? And that's what I'm saying. Now we're waiting for the ISO 20022, and who knows, there might be a Coinbase and Binance listing over the next 2 months as well. Plus, the games, right? The NBA, the NHL, right? We have that. We have exposure there, and who knows what other things we're going to get completed by the time 2025 is completed. Okay, listen, we are going to be talking about the price action in the short term, the long term, and do I still think $1 is more than viable? Listen, we are ranked 140 out of 9,315 active cryptos, 290 million market cap, 13 million volume. In the last month, right, we can see we're down roughly 32%. So yes, it is a good amount, but overall, a lot of cryptos have been bleeding. In the last week, we are down 13.5%. In the last 24 hours, we are down roughly 9%. Still no Binance, still no Coinbase, but that's okay. We can also see that when we go and look at something like the holders, which I don't know why this limit takes a while. So, while this loads up, we're going to look at the price very, very quickly. We can see that after a big, massive sell-off, roughly of, boom, there we go, 22%, we did get a nice retracement back. But the thing is, right, all we really did in the short term was retest this zone over here, right? Because this was a floor. This was a very, very nice floor. When we went down, we went back up to retest the floor, and now we are going lower and lower. Before I continue with technical analysis, I know I'm a little bit all over the place. We can see the holders actually did rise up a good amount. So that's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Zebec goes down, holders leave, people leave. Zebec went up over the last day or two, people start coming back. It's just classic human psychology where people kind of refuse to buy on the dips and they always buy it on the pumps because they think it's going to go further and further up, right? Classic. But we can see, right, we got this nice retest over here. On the weekly, we are looking very, very bearish. The last couple of weeks have been primarily sell candles. This one did flip a little bit bullish towards the end, but overall, right, we have been selling off the last 5 weeks. I do personally think that this zone right over here of 0.00271 will be taken out sooner than later, as it is just a zone that is, very close to being taken out. And market makers love messing with people. They love taking people out. And that is just the reality, right? That is just the reality. Even when we go back, we can see there were a lot of lows over here, right? There were a lot of lows, right? 1, 2, 3 lows. This got taken out, and then it started to reverse in the short term, up. And then before the final pump, right? Before we had the final pump, we also took out even more lows with this sweep over here, right? This sweep took out any positions down here. It didn't necessarily take the bottom of Zebec, but it did take out everybody else. And then we can see what happened after that. Well, Zebec created history, right? It had a boom, insane gain of 922%. So that's very, very nice. So I kind of expect Zebec to take out this zone over here in general, when we go look at it from an investor standpoint, when we go take out the Fibonacci tool and we go do something like this, we can see we're close to the 0.78 and the 8.88. And to be honest, you want to be buying, if you're looking, right, to be buying crypto, usually you want to buy below the 0.50 range, as long as you have the institutional mindset. Okay, look, the people, not people, but institutions that put in millions of dollars have been buying in this zone. Okay, they have been, because we could go back in time, we could see when the purchases have been made. And you got to remember that these wallets, they have a couple million in them, and right now they're down, 23%. At one point a little bit more, let's just say they're down 30%. If you had $1 million in there, you're down to 700K. If you had $2 million, you're down to 1.4 million. So it's very, very scary. But that's the thing with these institutions. They are just thinking about it from a longer term mindset and perspective. They are looking at it as an investment and not a quick flip. That's what meme coins are usually good for. If you want to have a very quick flip, most likely meme coin is the play. Yes, it's extremely highly risky, but you could also get a very, very nice bag in the short term, right? Unless you catch something like the bottom here where I did with Zebec, and then 2 weeks later you got rewarded, right? You usually don't get a quick flip. That is just the reality. And most of these institutions, they're not looking for a quick flip. They are looking for 50x, 75x, 100x gains from here. The big thing between Zebec going up 10x this cycle and 100, 200, and potentially 300x, in my personal opinion, is that, right, the ISO 20022 compliance, right? We get onto that, and there's a higher probability of really reaching for the stars. We can see my personal, first target is 10 billion market cap, and we can see that we are over a 30x gain from there, right? Buying right now. So, if I were to put in hypothetically $1,000, I'm looking for at least 30,000 in return. Now, am I necessarily going to hit that? At the end of the day, it's not up to me. It's up to how much Zebec has done work in the background, right? How many partnerships they have, and also how much liquidity comes into the market, and a few other factors. At the end of the day, it's up to the market makers. It's up to the whales. I am just a participator. If this crypto only goes 5x in its peak, it only goes 5x. If it goes 50x, it goes 50x. If it goes 500x, it goes 500x. At the end of the day, I have zero influence. I only see data, evidence, and probability. And based on that, I have to make my choice. Okay, am I buying here? Am I buying a little bit lower? What are my, price targets? At the end of the day, in general, in crypto, if you make anything between like even a 5 to 10x, I think that is more than a fantastic win, right? You're not going to get that anywhere else really, unless you get lucky with a stock, even though most of the time stocks, usually for the most part, they move much slower. So, if you get a 5 to 10x this cycle and you win and you cash out, then you are one of the people that are in the 3%, 3 to 5% each cycle that actually do make money. And not only that, they actually made decent gains. Anything above that is really, really just asking for, a next level handout. But at the same time, sometimes the stars line up where they will give you that big handout of 20x, 30x, 50x, 100x, 200x. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's all about playing your cards right and a little bit of luck as well. So we can see, objectively speaking, we are kind of at a very nice discount zone. I think, to be honest, if you're buying anywhere between the 0.61 and the 0.88, you should be chilling for the most part. Like, you should be really, really chill. Even if we were to go down to the 0.88 zone to take out this June low, then, even if you bought at the 0.61, you would be down roughly, boom, 42%. Now, I get it. That is a lot, but we've seen quick recoveries. We've seen how things can recover within a week or two to go up 50%, 70%, and etc. So being down 40% in crypto is not even that crazy. Okay, in stocks and other things, yes, but in crypto, with how much potential gains there are, 40% is really nothing. My question to you is, would you endure even possibly up to 80% drawdown if you knew you can make 10 to 20x off cryptos? I think most people would say yes, right? I understand it could be stressful. I understand, there could be a lot of pressure, but overall, right? Overall, I think most people would take that deal. So that's the same thing with this. That's why institutions are buying where they're buying, and they don't really care. I personally bought at the 0.61, right? And I'm currently down a little bit. I am looking to be also buying a little bit lower, generally speaking, as I do think we can get to the point 78. And that's where I'll be looking to be buying my final big bag of Zebec. And then I'm just going to be chilling for the rest of the year. And I'm going to see how 2026 plays out. When we go to the 3-month candles, right, we can see that, we had a very nice 3-month from in quarter 2. Quarter 3 was a little bit kind of mixy, and quarter 4 has been kind of a sell-off. In terms of 6-month, I mean, this is nothing too crazy. In terms of yearly, yes, we do have a little bit of rejection, but that's okay. I do think Zebec is going to perform very well in 2026, as long as we get the compliance, right? If we don't get into the compliance, then I think there may be a little bit of doubts, a little bit less gains, or way less gains. But if we do, then I do believe this is one of those cryptos that could be the ultimate winner of 2026 altcoin season run. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.